Hi Capricorn, Amber here from Symbols for Living. Welcome to your March 2017 life and love reading. Welcome to your reading. I hope you enjoy it. If you do and you feel that it resonates, please do get in contact with me. You can contact me at symbolsforliving@gmail.com. I would also invite you to check out my Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. I must admit, I hold my hands up. I'm not completely 100% active on them on a very regular basis, but if there are any major changes to Symbols for Living or any new updates, anything interesting, I will always post it to on the social sites. So it's definitely in your best interest, if you are interested in what I do, to to please join me so we can keep in contact. Also, I wanted to say that I would like to invite you to my website, which is www.symbolsforliving.com, where I sell an array of astrology, sacred geometry, and Egyptian clothing and mugs. I hope to expand that soon as well. So please, again, if you follow me on social media, you'll see the new collections as they come out. But please do visit there if you do like that kind of stuff. You may like a few items. But yeah, before we get started as well with the reading, I wanted to quickly touch upon the astrological events that have occurred with the new moon and full moon eclipses. The first occurring on the 26th of February in your third house in the sign of Pisces was more of a reflective moon, I believe, for you, where you'll be looking at how you communicate with others, family, friends, neighbours, communication in general. Language is also skills. So any kind of skills that you do with your hands, or any skills, full stop, that enable you to manifest like anything. Any skill that you've learned or developed. Usually kind of like natural skills that you've kind of developed, or skills that you would have learned quite young in life. These all fall into the third house, and you've got a new moon there. So it also talks about education and learning. So quite a few things are covered in this house. And with the new moon being there, there'll be new intentions set for things of that nature. So initially the new moon asks you to reflect. So for the 2 weeks coming up to the new moon, there would have been a waning of the moon. So you would have been shedding away a lot of what kind of doesn't work for you, shedding away things that basically you don't need or want to focus on anymore. And then you set this new intention with the new moon as to what you really want. But with it being in Pisces isn't an active sign, it's more reflective. So you could be making a choice to listen better, improve your communication in that way. But ultimately, with the full moon then occurring on the 12th of March in Pisces, with the new intentions or reflection that you did back on 26th of February, a lot of that will come to fruition. So you will see the final results of something. So say, for instance, you had a conversation on the 26th of Feb or around the new moon. The outcome of that conversation with the third house being about communication. You could have had a conversation on the new moon because of maybe just clearing away some old issues. The eclipse comes, you then decide you want to speak about something. You feel convicted. Usually with new moons, it's quite a gripping energy. It often shows us to have emotional outbursts and things like that. So you could have had a conversation on the 26th of Feb, and then come the 12th of March, you will see the outcome of that conversation. So you'll see the results of it, how that's affected or changed your relationship with that person. Decisions that you made around education, you'll then see again the fruition, what the outcome would have been for the decision that you made or the actions that you took on the 26th of February. The full moon on the 12th of March occurs in your 9th house. So it's again to do with education and philosophy. So you could have made some sort of decision around how you think, or you're learning, and you may now be looking to develop your skills, I think, and develop your learning and take your learning to the next level. Maybe even improve your communication skills through increasing your vocabulary, things like that, or reading more about philosophy. Maybe realizing that maybe your views on life maybe could do with broadening up for whatever reason. So yeah, it looks like you'll be broadening your worldview, I would say, come the 12th of March in one way or another. I think it probably has something to do around learning and communication. You'll be developing those skills. So, and again, come March the 28th, we then have a new moon again. So new moon, full moon, and then new moon. And I think with the new moon being in Aries, which would be in your fourth house, you would be more action orientated, because Aries is all about action. Again, Virgo and Pisces aren't very action orientated. Virgo is more cerebral, more demonstrative through talking and communication probably, and also hard work. And Pisces again is quite receptive. The new moon in Aries though talks about new beginnings. Aries is the first sign in the zodiac. It's also the first sign. It's actually the beginning of the astrological year. And in terms of harvesting and things like that, springtime is a time where you would start to, see the fruits of your labor. Kind of things will start to blossom. So it's a very new kind of energy. So I do believe that you'll be kind of more actively setting some sort of intention around home life on the 28th of March. And it may be as an outcome to your kind of expanding maybe your worldview or your philosophy, expanding your mind basically, and spirituality even as well. They could have all been expanded, and because of that, that's made you for some reason or had an effect on your home life and how you want maybe things to change there. So that'd be quite interesting to see. So yeah, leave comments below and let me know how it goes. With the Venus retrograde, that starts from March the 4th to April the 15th. It'll be retrograding from your fourth house, which is Aries, going all the way back into Pisces, which is your third house. So I do believe, again, Venus is about connection, communication, how we care, what we love. You could be choosing a new course that's more tailored to or more suitable to what you truly like to do. And I think Venus retrograde is going to be asking all of us to look at what we really love and consider whether or not we really do love those things, because it is retrograde. It's about reviewing issues of Venus. So but with it occurring in your fourth and third houses, there's definitely some sort of connection there with your home life, communication, and higher education or spirituality over the next few months anyway. So yeah, with Venus going back there, it could be that you're choosing, again, like I said, higher level of education that's more suitable to what you truly desire, and what makes you feel happy, maybe to even get more money. Venus also represents money. The third house also represents entrepreneurship and your own business and things like that. So you could be starting your own business, and it could be a home-based business. It could be a spiritual home-based business that you're developing. It could also affect your communication in relationships. I just wanted to end on that note as well. With it going through your third house and being Venus, it could affect your relationships, especially family life as well. Marriages, things like that, people you live with at home. Communication may need to be addressed there, or may need to be reviewed. Discussions that maybe you had in terms of how the house is run might need to be reviewed. But yeah, so that's that for the astrology. Just thought it's worth mentioning as there were eclipses. So seeing as you were, the third house, I believe, relates a lot to this card. You've got the Empress card, which is representative of Venus. We've then got the High Priestess. Venus is going retrograde. You've got the new moon in your or had your new moon in the third house. And then the high priestess, which talks about higher knowledge. And this is your main focus, is on a higher knowledge. So you are seeking, you definitely are tapping into your intuition. You recognize that it's there. You're not kind of like oblivious to it or unable to tap into it. It looks very much like you are able to tap into it, especially with the Queen of Rods as your outcome. The Queen of Rods is a very spiritual woman who she basically knows how to, or is very much in tune with energies, you know. She's quite passionate and inspirational, so she could be inspired by things. So she can be fairly sensitive in a way. And with that as the outcome, I do believe that you will be empowered by knowing that you have it within you. You have this gift either within you, and that you can actually possibly use even for work. It could be, again, a home-based business. You could be using it for work with the Queen of Rods. And also the King of Pentacles here. And then we've got the Three of Coins, which again talks about work. So you could be starting a new home-based business that is based on spirituality. And that makes you feel quite empowered. It looks here as well that there was a lot of messages shared. Again, this would be the new moon in the third house. A lot of communication, maybe to a female that you're interested in. It could be that you're receiving a lot of offers for love, especially with the Two of Cups here, is how you see yourself. You may see yourself as very loved up. You could be in a relationship. Or you could just see yourself as being very much ready for love. You could be, which is strange to say, but you could kind of be falling in love with yourself because, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, just got so many independent cards here. We've got the Nine of Coins is how people see you, which would say you seem very self-sufficient, well looked after, you've got everything that you need. You don't need for much. Anything missing now possibly is a relationship. We've then got the High Priestess, which is often seen as a very kind of solitary figure. Yeah. I just kind of think that, I also was going to say that the Empress card talks a lot about self-love. The Queen of Rods talks a lot about self-love and self-appreciation, you know, and looking after yourself, things like that. So you may be kind of reconnecting with yourself, possibly if you're single. Or even if you're in a couple, your main focus could be on yourself and communication. It's interesting that, again, the two here to do with connection reminds me a lot of the Gemini energy, that connectedness, that sharing of ideas, sharing of feelings even, but having to communicate them. And it looks like these guys don't even need to talk. They just know what each other, what needs to happen next. I'm not even going to talk that much. It's just that connection. So it could be very internal kind of connection you're having with yourself. Or it could be that you're just very much ready for love and feel that, you know, you're looking for the right one. You're looking for that ultimate connection with someone. So it looks like you're looking for your soulmate in some ways. That could be said because you yourself are very self-sufficient. You're hoping that you're able to maintain this sort of financial balance and position of authority possibly. It could also be that you're quite focused on an earth sign, you know. You could be very much focused on an earth sign, Capricorn, where you're looking for a relationship with them. you know. And if that is the case, then it looks like they do see you as being very single. They see you as like having everything you need and you don't really need anyone. Very self-sufficient. So I would also say, you know, be careful as well, because when people maybe see you as being very independent and having, you know, having all your ducks in a row, just be careful that people won't come in. You know, this is like deceit a little bit sometimes. This could also be being left out in the cold. And then, you know, this man could easily be used for his money if he's not careful, if he's so giving. So just a little bit of, there's no really concerning cards here at all. So I don't know how I picked that up, but I would say, yeah, be kind of careful. Like if someone is seeing you as so kind of financially independent, that they're not just after your finances, basically. Or at least not just after your finances, but appreciate you for you, and not what maybe you could offer them in terms of money. Because you are truly, you know, the Empress card to show up shows that your energies around you are very fertile. You've got a lot of people who are interested in you, and they see that you have everything. And they even see that you not only have everything, but you have like, you're sensual, you're everything, like you're the ultimate woman. And there's a lot of people who are recognizing that. If you're a man watching this video, then this could very well be talking about you sending a lot of messages to a lady who you're very much attracted to and that you see possibly as your wife, the mother of your children in the near future. So you're very much besotted and you're very much decided that that's who you like. Again, if you are just after a woman, you know, you could be transgender, you could be female yourself and still very much be attracted to women. So forgive me for limiting it to just men and women. But yeah, I can be a bit lazy in my speech sometimes. But yeah, definitely a focus here and a very decided effort put in towards this female here. Alternatively, it could be that you want to put yourself out there, or you want to kind of keep the momentum going and in some form, but you're being stopped maybe because of the issue of self-love, self-appreciation. You may not want to, or you may not have maybe as much confidence as maybe you feel you need. So it could be a challenge in some way, because the Empress has shown up in the challenge position, which, although is most likely to be the fact that you're just trying to get the attention of this Empress, it could also be that it's your own challenge in terms of self-love, self-care, and basically nurturing and mothering yourself. I was also going to say something else. I was also going to say that the Empress card has also shown up as a challenge, and you've also got the three. So you've got you've got three threes. So you've got Three of Cups here as the overall energy, the Empress, and then the Three of Coins. So you yourself could, you know, with all these offers coming to you, you could feel quite, you know, challenged by that in a sense. You could just be so attractive that there's a lot of people just wanting your attention at the moment. Venus is going to be retrograding into your third house, I think right at the end of March. So it could just be that a lot of people just, you know, you just got that Venus energy. But it looks like there could be two people or a three-way relationship here. And that could be the challenge, is that maybe you've just got a lot of people, a lot of suitors that's put you in a position now where maybe you're talking to more than one person. It looks like you're trying to use your intuition to reach a decision as to what you want to do to move forward. You do recognize that I think you may have felt like you were in a position of power as well, when you were able to kind of be this huge focus of attention, that you then had the leverage, I guess, to give your attention and time to who you wanted to, when you wanted to, because you had the pick of the lot. So it's quite an empowered position to be able to give or choose who you give your time to. Having that choice is a privilege. Choice is not a privilege, that sounds terrible, but choice is an empowering state to be in, and that's what you had here in the past. And it looks like that either you have you yourself were in this point of power, and that you've now kind of taken the time, or you're taking the time currently, to look into your intuition, to see and really think things through as to what you're going to do next. Because I think you really do want to choose one person. You want to be this Two of Cups. You want just one person to focus on and to be connected, and that's your focus. And you've chosen, or you're trying to choose, using your intuition. In the near future, there will be some sort of loss. So maybe having made a decision, maybe you're no longer, or you find yourself, for whatever reason, no longer in that position where you're kind of able to just keep people hanging on the string, basically, in a way. You're now maybe not in that position, maybe because your conscious has got the better of you, especially with the 9th house energy. Maybe you just know that it's not the right thing to do, and so you've decided that even though it means losing someone that maybe you really liked, the result could be really positive. So you could have had to make a choice and basically narrow down this 6 down to a 5. You've had to reduce your numbers. Although it looks like here you have tried to make it all work, like you tried to kind of keep maybe you tried to keep it very light, making no commitments to anyone, just trying to keep it all as friends. And I think you may be trying to do that, especially with the 3 of Cups as the overall energy for the month. It may be that you try to keep it as friends and try to keep it going, and not really try, took it too seriously. But maybe someone found out with the High Priestess. Maybe you said something. Maybe that was the new moon in February. You said what you wanted to say, got it off your chest, secrets were out, you're dating these many people, and maybe that resulted in that person, maybe it was a King of Pentacles, like I said, that you just, they just thought they couldn't work with that, and so maybe decided to leave, which left you no longer in a position of having this kind of leverage or having this point of control. However, you're still looking for the right one, and find yourself on your own at the moment. And you could be very much interested, as I said, in this King of Pentacles, or you could just be hoping that you yourself maintain some sort of position, maintain your leverage, I guess, in some way. Like, you still want to be the King of Pentacles, you still want to be the king, you still want to be respected, and maybe you're quite focused on work as well, like you just kind of want to focus on work, or you're hoping it doesn't affect your work. It looks like here to be in this position, you must be quite content, financially kind of stable and self-sufficient. So you may not want to kind of lose that. The Empress, if you are focused on the Empress, it's likely to be a Libra or a Taurus, or even a Cancerian, I would say, because it's very motherly energy, especially with the water energy here. Could be kind of a water sign. The High Priestess is usually represented by the moon, but also quite closely connected to Virgo. So again, could be an earth sign person that you're dealing with, quite focused on at the moment. You're using your intuition to maybe find out more, or to help you reach a decision as to how you want to move forward. However, it looks like in the near future, that's the very near future, there may be some sort of disappointment or not really feeling like you're appreciated or wanted, and you could feel kind of left out in the cold. However, the good news is that as the outcome, we've got the Queen of Rods. It's one of the best, most positive cards in the deck in terms of outcomes. So whatever has, if someone has rejected you or whatever, I think you've just been reminded here to not forget your own worth, and don't let that affect your worth, especially with the King of Pentacles here as well. And it being a reading for Capricorn, I think it is asking you to not forget who you are, not forget your own strengths. You know, even if this was in the past and you had this sort of power, you might not have it now. It doesn't take away from everything that you bring to the table. It doesn't take away from all the positive traits and gifts and skills that you have. So, yeah, don't forget that. Keep working hard. Your focus is on work anyway. In the back of your mind, you kind of want this all just to work out, and you want everyone to kind of work together. It's interesting here in terms of pulling weight. It could be that you feel like you're doing all the work. You could feel like if you are in a relationship that, you know, yeah, you're doing all the work and you're being left out in the cold, and that maybe in the past it was a bit unbalanced, you know. There was maybe some sort of imbalance here, possibly, which has made you be quite focused on creating this kind of equal kind of give and take situation. But maybe by you speaking up, this has resulted in a breakup or an ending. Although there's no ending cards here, very much new energy kind of is here, especially with the Queen of Rods as well. So I don't think it's possibly the ending. Maybe you were just dating. Maybe it wasn't anything really heavy, so nothing really ended per se because nothing actually started. But yeah, you are looking for reciprocity, collaboration. That's what you're looking for now. You want an even give and take. You've made yourself secure. You're ready for a relationship, it looks like. However, you are being asked here as an overall energy to have fun with friends, to get out there. It could also be, again, this could just be another indicator of you having to deal with having to make a choice between three people, or there being a three-way relationship that maybe you've decided to just not put any more effort into and focus on yourself. And that's very much tied in with the High Priestess card, the Hermit card. Just hoping to do things yourself. But it looks like there definitely could be like some sort of friendships going on, just more collaborating with friends, and it's very light-hearted. I don't really feel any energy that shows any sort of deep commitment to anything. Although there is a major focus that maybe you're maybe hoping that in the future, I think you are definitely hoping that in the near future you will find someone, but you're using your intuition to enable you to get that. You're literally pulling together all the resources that you have available, I think, to develop your intuition to enable you to really find this dream person. Alternatively, this could be about work, and this could be a home-based business that you're developing, as I said in the beginning, that makes you quite independent. It looks like you found your true calling, you're very much in love. It'd be nice if this was the Sun card. But I think this more clearly explains that you found something that you can really connect to. In the past, maybe you could have maybe received money or had a steady kind of job, and like now with this new business, it's not really as easy. So I guess the warning here could be, make sure you use all the resources available to you, speak to friends, and if you can, don't quit any jobs until you're completely financially stable in this new venture that you're starting. The Queen of Rods also represents new ventures. You could be quite the caring type in your profession, and you could have a lot of inquiries. So a lot of people who are interested in you. But again, remembering your time, especially if it is a spiritually based business, you will need your downtime to reconnect and ground yourself, whatnot. So I think the Empress card would also be suggesting that if it is a spiritually based business, to remember that although you may be inundated and have a lot of things to do, first things first is sorting yourself out and then move on to, work. Yeah, so I think that's it for that portion of the reading. Sorry it wasn't extremely clear, but I do hope that you found something useful from it. If you have any questions, please do get in contact with me. We can do an actual private reading where we can get some more clearer answers for you. These cards are for the Venus retrograde. Okay, so karmic relationships are definitely